reaching out to the youth and letting them know that, hey, you don't have to go out here and throw your life away, selling drugs or doing anything, robbing and killing and stealing, like the stuff that you see here in the Atlanta area. You can actually find a niche and go after that. If you want to start a clothing line, follow me. Do it the right way. Don't go out here and try to make fast money, and because fast money don't last money. That's
Welcome to another episode of the Happy Friday Committee Mindset. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Tim Harvey, who is a clothing designer who has an excellent brand called Rose Lovers. I brought this brother on here today because he has a lot of information to share on the Friday principles, which is being fearless, resilient, intuitive, determined, appreciative, and youthful. How you doing today, Mr. Tim?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I would like to jump right into it. Let's start with the word fearless, and we'll work our way down. What does fearless mean to you, and can you give us an example of that?
Fearless to me is pretty much having no ceiling, having no fear, you have no pretty much no fear. You go into everything head first. You take risks. You're a risk taker. So I consider myself a risk taker. After serving in the army for 20 years, coming out into the civilian world and taking on entrepreneurship head on, because a lot of people fear entrepreneurship because it's definitely a grind and you have to work really, really hard, because if you don't work, you don't get paid. So I understand why a lot of people fear entrepreneurship.
Um, Speaking of that, and I'm going to frame that within the context of what you do, the questions in terms of entrepreneurship and leaving the army, um, or being retired from the army. Uh, can you give us a time in your life when you had to be resilient?
Oh yes, glad you asked that question. Well, my spouse died in 2018 from stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. So
Wow,
I had to
wow,
be
wow.
resilient. I had to be a be a single father. I was forced into single fatherhood. I lost my wife, so and being somebody that wasn't really hands on as a dad, I was there, I was present, but I wasn't really hands on.
Yes,
So it
sir.
was kind of a struggle for me. You know, the first couple of years and during her death, I had to learn a lot. And the number one thing I learned is there is no parent handbook. So I just had to learn on the fly. But God kept me, and I stayed praying, and I'm here, still here, 6 years later.
Yes, sir. How did you balance that in terms of opening a clothing store and your wife passing at the same time?
Well, it was kind of like a dream that I always wanted to do. So my wife's passing really just put everything into perspective. Like, she's going now, you can do something to make her proud. I've always told her that I love fashion and that was something that I wanted to do. So her leaving was more of a, now I got time, now I got to do it to show everybody the resiliency. So like I said, I have a collection called Rich, resilient, resilient, intelligent, charismatic, and humble is what it stands
Oh,
for.
wow.
So
Wow.
I embody resiliency. I'm glad you asked that. That's one of my watchwords for my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent. Excellent. Well, the next principle is being intuitive. How did, because you're originally from Texas, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did you go with your gut in terms of following your path and, being intuitive enough to come to Atlanta and
Right.
open your shop?
Well, I retired out of Augusta, Georgia, and I never wanted to go back. I love Texas, I love Dallas, but I never wanted to go back. I said I'm going to stake my flag in the ground here in Georgia. But Augusta wasn't really the market for what I'm trying to do. You know, it's a small town, so it wasn't really the market. I needed to be here in Atlanta, whereas diversity, all of my distributors are here. Everything is here. Everything I wanted to do is here. So I just uprooted. I sold my house, and I was just like, I'm gonna step out on faith and go do it. And I've been doing it for almost 2 years.
Oh,
No,
excellent, excellent. Well, with that, everybody likes to wear clothes and everybody is into some type of fashion and things of that nature. How do you stay determined in the fashion lane in terms of your design and your clothing? How do you stay determined and with the competition?
well, the competition is always going to be there. There's many clothing designers, but I get a lot of inspiration from several different designers, to try to make my style. I kind of take my style and give it to the world. So you pretty much have to find your target audience. So my target audience is usually the youth between the ages of about 13 and 35,
Okay,
boys and girls, I try to this is my way of reaching out to the youth and letting them know that, hey, you don't have to go out here and throw your life away, selling drugs or doing anything, robbing and killing and stealing, like the stuff that you see here in the Atlanta area. You can actually find a niche and go after that. If you want to start a clothing line, follow me. Do it the right way. Don't go out here and try to make fast money, and because fast money don't last money. That's something that I've always was told my whole life.
absolutely, absolutely.
And
Wow.
being that the children have really nobody to look up to due to, like, you turn on the radio, you hear the music, you hear the message. It's not really a positive one. So I said, hey, this is how I'm gonna try to inspire the youth. I hope that some young man looks at me and say, you know what, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Excellent. Wow. Great answer. Great answer. The next principle is being appreciative. How do you remain appreciative and how do you give back in terms of, you just answered some of that question, but how do you remain appreciative for everything that you went through? I know you told me some stories as far as like you being in the army and, being overseas and the things that you went through. How do you remain appreciative of seeing everything that you have seen?
Well, it's just in life, you keep the attitude of gratitude. My mom always taught me to, you know, always have gratitude in everything that you do, and I'm definitely humbled and I definitely am grateful to even have people support me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just a young guy from Texas. I grew up in the inner city. Wasn't the best city, but I had a vision my whole life. So it was get out of here, inspire somebody, and then come back and put somebody on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
that's
sir.
that's pretty much my mission. A lot of people um, get to a place in life and then they don't look back and remember who's behind them and extend their hand and help and pull somebody up. If I could do that, that's truly the most rewarding thing about being an entrepreneur, is looking back at the people that you've helped pick up. Some may surpass you, some may never surpass you.
Yes,
Either
sir.
way, either way, it's a win for us all. You know what I'm saying? I never get mad if I give somebody game and they surpass me. I don't get mad. I look at it like, yo, I helped that man get where he
Wow.
is in life now. And
Absolutely.
that's
That's what
enough
it's
for
all
me.
about. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Keeping
That's
the
what
attitude of gratitude.
that's what it's all about. The next question and the last principle is being youthful. How do you remain youthful?
I remain youthful because I work out. So I work out a lot. So I try to keep myself looking young and I feel young. I'm 40 years old, but I feel like I'm 28. A lot of times they tell me I look like I'm 30. So I try to be youthful, and then I have teenage children that keep me grounded and keep me abreast on, what's going on in the world. That's the greatest thing about having children. You can stay in the know. You know, you don't have to be like the old man that don't know. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
I got teenagers, and if I don't know something, they know it and they school me. So it's kind of like we teaching each other every single day. But I remain youthful just through the clothing line too, because I have like I said, my target audience is teenagers up to the age of about 35, males and females. You know, because a lot of the youth look at me and be like, "Oh yeah, you fresh, you always dressed, you always got some nice kicks on." You know, this is stuff that I've always, since I was a little boy, envisioned myself for myself, and now that I'm able in the position to have these things because my father wouldn't buy none of this stuff.
Yes, sir.
Only thing I had was a magazine where I look in the magazine and like, oh, I like that. I might get that one day. But yeah, my father wasn't having it. So I try to stay youthful through my children and through this clothing and through my business and my brand.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so out of these principles being fearless, resilient, intuitive, determined, appreciative, and youthful, which one sticks out to you the most and why?
Well, as I said previously, resiliency is always going to be my watchword for my life, you know, because of everything that I've been through, losing my wife and the struggle that I had to even get a actual boutique, you know, a shoe teak. You know, I went through a lot of things. So I'm very resilient because even when they try to knock you down, you got to keep going. You know, a lot of times I tell people, man, hey, it's a minor setback. When you go through things, it's a minor setback for a major comeback. So I always try to keep a positive attitude, even in the midst of defeat or in the midst of it seems like nothing is going right. I just stay resilient. I channel my inner resiliency because I know that this too shall pass. You know,
Yes, sir.
that's always something that
Absolutely.
I tell myself each and every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on and doing this interview and taking time out of your busy schedule. How can people find you?
Well, I'm on all social sites. At Rose Lovers Brand. That's ROSELOVASBRAND. Every social site. We got Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Just go look me up. I'm on everything at Rose Lovers Brand.
Excellent. Excellent. And where are you located in Atlanta?
I'm located at 680 Murphy Ave, Suite 1096, 9 Alpha in the West End, in a building called the Met, Building 1.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you, brother, for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.